What is going on, Jerome's? Happy Tuesday morning. The Minnesota Vikings, after the greatest comeback in NFL history. No, it shouldn't have had to be that hard at home against a 4-8-1 team, but it is what it is. The Vikings return to practice today, Tuesday, to get ready for the New York Football Giants coming into US Bank Stadium. Home regular season finale, but there will be playoff games at home, and the Giants... It's going to be tough. Yeah, 8-5-1, got to refocus, got to get after it, man. But, Vikings, after that impressive win, are still firmly in the 2 seed in the NFC, and also with Jalen Hurts potentially missing the rest of the regular season, is the door open for the Vikings to win out. Maybe Philly loses out with Gardner Minshew, and maybe the Vikings steal the 1 seed. Either way, they still have to win to stay ahead of the San Francisco 49ers. And you would think that after that amazing comeback win where Kirk Cousins just gets it done, and Justin Jefferson and the defense and everyone, and Dalvin, and just amazing. Just the amazingness that they would get just a smidgen, just a modicum of respect. Nope. So this is our friends over at Vikings Wire. ESPN released an article by Dan Graziano to try and determine who were pretenders and who were contenders. He pegged the Vikings, yeah he did, as pretenders, and his rationale is quite disappointing. Quote from Dan Graziano. The Vikings are 11-3 and have outscored their opponents by 2 points for the whole year. Yes, they have scored 351 points and allowed 349, which means they win on average by 0.14 points per game, because that's how that works. That, folks, is simply not sustainable, especially against the kind of competition they'll face in January. The Colts aren't going to be there. For example, the Eagles, Cowboys, and maybe the Detroit Lions will be there, and their 3 losses are to those 3 teams by a combined score of 98-33. Sure, they beat the Bills and the Miami Dolphins and the Lions first time they played them, and those are good wins. I once watched Kirk Cousins be a talented Drew Brees-led New Orleans team in the postseason in the Superdome, so I'm not one of those people who thinks they can't win with Cousins. I think they're tough and resilient and could probably win a game against any team, but 2 or 3 of them against the best teams in the NFC, I don't see how the Vikings' margin for error survives that postseason gauntlet. So it's a little bit of damning with faint praise. Where it's like, oh yeah, I saw Kirk Cousins beat a Saints team 3 years ago. Sure. Well, what does that have to do with now? No, seriously, what does that have to do with the level of that Kirk Cousins is playing this year? And yeah, the Vikings' point differential, which again, it wasn't really something that's ever been brought up. Except for now, where the Vikings, they got the doors blown out by 17 to the Eagles. They lost by 37 to the Cowboys, and then they lost by 11 to the Lions. Even though that was a 1-score game and the Lions kicked a field goal at the end, it is what it is there. But yeah, just completely marginalizing and discounting the Vikings finding a way to win these tight games. Yes, against Detroit week 3. And then, Saints, Bears, Dolphins, even though the Dolphins were on their backup quarterbacks, it's still a tough and complete football team. Beating the Cardinals doesn't look that great anymore. You beat the Commies, sure, whatever. You beat the Bills, big time win, and then you followed it up with the Cowboys, a loss. But I remember Patriots and the Jets, 2 of the best defenses in the NFL. The Vikings were able to move the ball, put up some points. Lions game is whatever, and then the Colts game. I mean, what's the difference between losing by 33 to the Colts and then coming back and winning? Honestly, I would have loved to see the articles if the Vikings ended up 10-4 and just got boat raced by the Colts. I mean, they would write the Vikings off. The Vikings would be in the 3 seed, all this stuff, and blah, 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 blah. But it's like the Vikings get 0 credit for the close games that they've won. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the Cowboys barely beat the Texans, and then they lost to the Jaguars. Huh? The Eagles barely beat the Colts by 1 point at full strength, by the way. Let's just ignore that. So it's very convenient narratives like, hey, the Eagles, congratulations, and the Cowboys to a degree. Like, they piss-pound bad teams. Congratulations, excluding the Vikings, by the way. Yeah, but the run up the score against bad teams, that means that they must be really, really good. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll take that disrespect and we'll just harness it, and they'll use it as aggression. That's exactly what they've done all season long. And I think the Vikings, hey, who do you think has more to gain in a rematch against the Eagles or the Lions or the Cowboys? I mean, it's not the Eagles, Lions, and the Cowboys, because they're coming off wins against the Vikings. 2 of the games, big time wins. So, of course, the revenge game narratives are certainly going to be there, and it's tough to beat a team twice, man. And the Vikings, hey, whether they're at home, whether they have to be road warriors, it really does not matter because the Vikings, this feels like a really weird season. And even the staunchest haters of the Vikings who point to the point differential or say that they're fraudulent and say this, that, or the other thing, or they're lucky that they're playing the Colts, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to play the Vikings in the playoffs? Like, given the Vikings' propensity for winning close games, for coming back from insurmountable leads and getting things done in weird ways, do you want to play the Vikings in the playoffs? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. And I know that Eagles and Cowboys and maybe even Lions fans will puff out their chest a little bit. It's like, hey, bring it. Yeah, but deep down, they know. They know that even if they get up on the Vikings, this team will not say die. And then after the Vikings start making a little bit of a comeback or the game gets tight later in the game, and it's Vikings time, man. Fourth quarter is Vikings time. They got a plus 66 point differential in the fourth stanza, but no one ever mentions that. No one mentions that at all, but it's okay. It's okay, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. ESPN still considers the Vikings pretenders, even at 11-3. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts and their thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Most support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.